And welcome back, neighbors. This is Daniel.
This is Katie.
Welcome back to the Future Neighbor podcast.
Today's podcast.
Oh, okay, you're going to start it off? Do you have something like a read in mind?
No, I was just wanted to remind you.
Okay. I did have it in mind.
Okay.
This podcast is brought to you by Gochujar, where you could get... So you guys stop looking at me like that. Yeah, Gochujar, we sell artisanal items. Oh my gosh, it just ruined. We got to do it a little bit more cooler way.
Well, you should talk about our latest item.
Yeah. We have, we've gone in contract with Notyang,
노탕.
which is a new supplier for yugi, which is Korean brassware. So it's like the dishes that are golden that used to be, well, actually the color is golden, but it's made out of 78% copper and 22% tin with that like exact 78-22 ratio or the alloy. Apparently, as is very famous in Korea, yugi like is antimicrobial. So if you have like germs or viruses, it won't survive on copper. So it was used in the old days.
Yeah. And still in very luxurious Korean traditional restaurants, they serve food in yugi.
And it's actually coming back in vogue. Long time ago, it used to be like the classic thing that you buy for newlyweds. You know, because they want to go furnish their kitchens, and you'll buy them like a nice yugi set, which lasts for a lifetime. I think it was like during our parents' generation when like stainless steel became a lot more, or when Korea started industrializing, stainless steel became, of course, the more preferred or the cheaper option to go with.
More affordable.
Exactly. Because like I learned a lot about yugi while I was like, of course, sourcing, and it's like a long line of artisans. So if you're born into like a family that has been making pangcha or yugi, they're the same terms. It's just different words for it in Korea. A lot of times the kids will take on apprenticeship and learn from their parents or their father, most likely, how to make yugi. Anyway, we are now selling Korea's number one yugi brand. The one Notyang won the 2020 Best Brands for Yugi. And it's been featured on like Netflix dramas. What was that?
Oh my God.
Was that from my throat?
No.
Are you
yours or mine?
We all know what that is. Like
I
that.
heard
Like
it.
I heard it too.
Well, I didn't think that you would have heard it.
That was from you?
It was a thing from my throat.
I know. What is that caused by? Is it like, it's just like that?
Just, natural body reaction.
Yeah, it's like a throat fart. Thanks for that. Where was I? Where was I? I think this ad is over.
Oh yeah, it's featured in the Private Life. It's a new Korean drama on Netflix.
Yeah.
As well as Itaewon Class.
Yeah, they showed or they featured that yugi. So if you are interested in gifting someone, we have it in stock now. We have the one person full set and the others. I'll stop there. And
very good.
Now, we apologize for missing a podcast upload. Actually, we did have one ready, but then it was like the day before the elections, and we just thought we should do something election related. And then during the elections, like my mind was so involved into the drama, it didn't occur to me that I should record something because I don't think anyone needed extra anxiety or opinions until the results were out. So then we waited, and now, well, technically the results aren't in, but the official results are in. But it came out positive, at least what I was rooting for.
Yeah, so good for you.
In our previous podcast episode that I didn't upload, you actually asked me what my predictions were. And I said I thought it would be a landslide victory for Biden.
Yeah, like no question.
No question. And then...
You didn't even have a doubt, right?
Yeah, I didn't have a doubt, but it was the most nail-biting election ever. It was so close.
Exactly.
Yeah, and I just told...
Yeah.
Go ahead.
I was trying to compare how it's different from 2016. And then... like the results kept coming to be very, very similar.
Well, for me, my initial reaction, without getting too deep into this politics, because I have something to say, like I have like a little promise to myself now, but what was I going to say? I just forgot. Well, maybe I just say the thing that I promised myself. After this election, I told myself I'm going to take a huge detox from political news. So ever since Trump's presidency, like politics and news have been so intertwined. So when I turn on the daily news, it's all about politics.
Gives you extra stress.
Yeah, I don't know why. It's like, well, I know why, but my routine is always when I wake up in the morning, I turn on the daily news to get like debriefed on what's going on. And naturally, I don't turn on Korean news because Korean is my second language. So if I turn on global news, everything is, revolving around Trump and all this and that. And so I almost feel like my last 4 years, where my head has been filled with everything Trump, Trump, Trump. And I think this has been the same for almost everybody. And so what I told myself, now I'm going to stop watching the news via YouTube. Instead,
like CNN. Oh, that's why. Actually, I noticed you stopped turning on the CNN news.
Yeah, in the mornings, like CNN, MSNBC, nightly news. Yeah, I'm going to stop watching it through YouTube. And instead, I'm going to... I did it for the last few days, right? You don't hear in the morning, right? Because I mentally did that. I'm going to only read long format. Not long format. I'm going to just read news only. It has to be maybe through my phone.
Like articles.
Like articles.
Yeah, and that's better.
Yeah. That way, like I can control how much craziness can come into my
because
to my head.
With the videos, you can't really
it's all
control
audio.
the speed.
Yeah,
right?
It's not like I'm watching and watching YouTube. I just have it in the background while I'm going through all of my morning emails and stuff like that.
And with the autoplay, it just keeps going on and on and on.
Exactly. So for 4 years, like I know so much detail about American politics, and I've had so much thinking about this. And what I've come down to is that, number one, I'm not a U.S. citizen. Now, this I'm just giving you my thoughts out loud. I could be wrong, and my thoughts can change. But yeah, why am I filling my head with so much detail and which senators are pushing for this and that? Like, I'm a Korean citizen.
Yeah, but you are very attached to the U.S. news because you were raised there.
Yeah, and this is the kind of... I think for most people who are raised in one country or know English as their primary language or immigrants, is you have one foot in one country and one foot in the other, right? I, in pragmatic terms, can't affect U.S. politics because I do not have the right to vote. So why do I fill my head with like, oh my gosh, look at McConnell's blocking these votes, or Lindsey Graham said this and that. He said like you can't push Amy Barrett, and then I have my college or my university is Notre Dame, so like Notre Dame grads like, oh, what do you guys think? I'm like subscribed to Reddit Notre Dame forum, and they're like, oh, it's conservative, but this judge and this, and it's every nuance of politics is coming into my head. Yeah,
it's like a non-stop.
It's non-stop, and I don't think my brain, my little brain, can handle so much things to be worried about when, in practical terms, I'm here in Korea, I'm a citizen here, I vote Korean-wise. But the strange thing for me is that Korean is my second language, so even if I turn on the equivalent of Korean news on YouTube, like let's say JTBC or SBS or
MBC.
Yeah.
Yeah, because they use a lot of those traditional Hanja words, which I find it difficult to understand too from time to time.
Of course, for English is like butter. It just seeps into my brain like butter. Korean is like Korean is just, it's
difficult.
Yeah, it's difficult. I have to like focus to understand what's going on. So naturally, in my busy life, I just skip over it. Or I read, like, for example, Korean Herald, which has like an English version, but it's a translation of the Korean articles. So sometimes it's very rough. I'm like, what the heck are they talking about? It's unclear. So what does that leave me? I'm going to pay attention to world economics because I like business in general. That flows like gravy to me as well. So Wall Street Journal, and then Flipboard is an app which I've always been using because U.S. politics is always going to come up. It's just so hype. I'm going to just read through the headlines and move over, but I'm not going to click on the article and go through all the details.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Like just browsing through.
That's good.
Yeah, and I've been trying. Yeah. But how is your feelings about it? Because you don't have a close tie to America.
Yeah, but one thing that we said to each other after this whole result, so we're not going to trust the polls anymore.
That's true.
The polls are so different to the reality, and there were so many like shy Trump supporters that didn't really show in the polls result, which is why it was going so neck to neck in the actual result.
Yeah.
So that was like a big surprise.
But actually in this election, a lot of the polls were right.
Really?
It just the results came out so much later because of they obviously got Florida wrong and Texas, which went heavily Republican, but they made it in the news like, oh my gosh, it's gonna flip. But I think Georgia flipped. So and Arizona flipped. Michigan and Wisconsin. Sorry, I'm gonna stop. So yeah, I mean, I think based on our emotions, it seemed like the polls weren't 100% correct, but a lot of it was accurate.
Yeah.
Seeing it now.
No, it's really like different because in Korea the results come out like almost early next morning.
It's the same in the US, but it's just this one with Trump and like
for this we had to wait like 2 days or even more.
Well, it's more because of the pandemic, because of the pre-early voting. It's going to be interesting 4 years looking forward. I hope it's more can I say
more
normal?
Peaceful?
Yeah, I just want government to be government, but I think I'm just saying dumb things. This is 2020. It's changed. Everything has changed. Politics is part of life. I was reading through an article that every Korean president has either, after they finish their term, been jailed.
Yeah.
Or
committed suicide.
Well, okay. Let me rephrase that. Every Korean president has done jail time. So that raises two questions. Why is that? Is it because Korean politics is very
corrupt?
Either corrupt or or it has very strong democratic values, meaning you did something wrong, so you're going to get punished for it. But it's weird to see that presidents being jailed.
And there are certain presidents who committed suicide during the investigation.
Yeah.
Too.
Yeah. But Koreans do a lot of suicide. It's in our national psyche. And a president doing that also makes it more of a, not acceptable, but more of a common thing. Like, on the Mapo Bridge in Seoul, there's always tons of suicides, right?
Oh, and then the Seoul mayor also committed suicide a few months ago too.
Yeah. I would never take my life.
But there's so many conspiracy theories behind why he did that, or he was killed, or the result we may never know.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think Korea, I think I read somewhere that on news, they don't really show you the rate of suicidal rate because that could also, in worries that it could also lead to like wrong things. Actually, just from the news, it seems like we have quite a high suicidal rate. And it also got even more due to the COVID during this period.
Yeah, but I think there must be something in the way that we think why suicide is such an option. Do you think it's because it's so common among people that we see in public that it becomes like an option for the common person? Meaning, like, think about all the K-pop stars that have done suicide, right? So if you're young, from a young age, you see that, you can name people off the top of your head that have committed suicide, right? And it's like a option out when you get older. But maybe I'm just matching conclusions. But Korea, I mean, a lot of people say it's because Korea is a very stressful society, but in some ways, pain is maximum for everyone. Like, someone stressed out in Sweden is goddamn stressed out too. You know what I mean? Like, that's how my brain works. That's how I think about it. As a society, anywhere you go, there are people who are stressed out, but thinking suicide as an option is not that, well, I don't know. Mental illness and suicide are very serious topics, and I've been blessed not to have gone through anything like that or a period like that, but it just seems like in Korea, not every, but a lot of high profile people do suicide.
I think a lot of the times it comes from like deep depression too, and I think you can't really get out of it unless you're like surrounded by other people or family members who care for you. now a lot of the times I think these people are just suffering alone,
Yeah.
and then it's kind of like it's sort of like there's nothing that stops them from going further down the road like that.
Yeah. But if I was like a psychology PhD trying to make a thesis, I'd be interested to learn why some countries' suicide rate per capita is much higher rather than just the blanket like reason of stress. Because stress, again, in my mind is what do I call it? It's maximum to everyone. Like you stressing out that your dog died might be the most painful thing. Someone with having their I don't know, grandmother has cancer. Like you don't know, you can't compare your stress to other people because you're not walking in their shoes. But to you, pain is pain. Some people deal with pain by choosing suicide, whereas some other countries, that's not the thing to go to. But in Korea, it seems very high. And
But you know, Japan has a high suicidal rate too, right?
Yeah.
So I feel like it's more like those countries who are more quiet, and then we're not very like loud.
Okay, we can run with that hypothesis. What's the noisiest country? Who have the loudest people in the world?
Like
Brazilians?
Yeah, or like, you know, people, the countries that are known to be more talkative than us.
Italians?
Or yeah, Spanish.
Spanish?
Yeah, like
All right. We're gonna have to put a research to this and see. The louder your voice is, the less likely.
Because that also means that you are more like you have more friends to talk to.
Yeah.
Like people care about you, or
yeah.
like more social events that happens around you. Of course, that's gonna like lift you up too.
So how generally
a lot of the times I think people in Korea just live alone or just spend time alone.
Yeah.
Don't really go out, and you know everything is so convenient to be doing at home alone. We have very good delivery service.
Yeah.
And then once you decide to stay at home and do nothing, like you can keep doing that for a really long time, and then I think that can kind of get you feel a little bit down too.
Yeah. When I first moved to Korea, my friends would ask me, how's living in Korea? And my response was always that Korea is very, very convenient. 편리하다. But it's not comfortable. 편안하진 않다. Right? Because everything is so fast-paced, so quick.
Yeah, and then all the social pressures that are set on you, and then...
But infra-wise, like you said, from delivery to if you go anywhere...
Everything is very efficient.
Everything is there. So it's very
it looks
convenient.
Very clean and well organized from the outside. But if you really look inside the society, there's a lot of pains and yeah.
Have you dealt with depression or?
But I wouldn't. I wouldn't really like. I would be very careful to say this because I feel like feeling depressed. Everybody goes through feeling depressed, you know? It's one of those very highly overused words. So I don't want to be like comparing myself to someone who's like really like depressed, because I don't think I never went even close to that kind of illness depression, you know? But of course there are like weeks where I feel really down and not motivated, and if that's what you call depressed, then yes.
No, I was thinking about the former, like clinically depressed, like can't function, like.
No.
Just curious if you've gone through.
No. Have you?
No. Yeah. Okay. Well, hey, we can change it up a little bit. We finally made a decision on our wedding date.
Yeah, so this thing that was hanging on our head for the last few months.
For last year.
Yeah, because you proposed to me like this time last year. Yeah, so we were still like up in the air when we should set on our wedding date because we already postponed it once. And we kind of temporarily set the date to be on May, but we were still unsure whether our guests from like America or other countries could come, because there's like a 2-week quarantine period that any like people coming from abroad will have to have that in order to enter Korea.
Yeah.
And then we just decided to proceed with the wedding just with Korean guests.
that was a tough decision.
Yeah, it was.
Like in our minds, what we had expected was a very Western style wedding where we bring everyone, we have a dance floor, DJ,
Yeah,
we have
really
this
fun
ceremony,
wedding.
open bar, everyone not remembering the wedding because everyone's half tipsy, don't know, like shirts
Yeah.
off. Like that's the kind of vibe we're really going for. And we just wanted to have a celebration with all of our closest friends. And I was really looking forward to that. And all year, I had that kind of picture of what our wedding would be. I was kind of had my face in the sand, like quote unquote, or I've had my face in the ground, like just thinking that things will get better.
Yeah.
A few weeks ago, right now, okay, even things have already progressed. At that time when we made the decision, there was no news from Pfizer about like a vaccine having 90%
Yeah.
efficient or
Well, we don't
is that-
even know when that vaccine will be available to the public.
yeah. So at that time, I just want to walk through what the decision thing was. Like at that time, before the Pfizer news, I was thinking, all right, if the US rolls out with a vaccine, it will still take like 3 or 4 months for it to roll out to the general public. Then we're already talking mid 2021. And then just because the vaccine is out doesn't mean that Korea is going to lift its quarantine rules. Like I was telling Katie, like if I was the minister of travel or whatever the ministry is, and I was responsible for when to lift that, I would be very conservative about that decision, right? There's no
Yeah.
need for me to aggressively lift that quarantine rules and then risk all of Korea getting angry at me and getting fired. So lifting that up late. So I easily saw this going into 2022, having another year. With the Pfizer vaccine, like again, there's a lot of unknowns about the rollouts, and I think it's 2 shots that you need.
Oh.
Yeah, so it's like 3 weeks between shots. And if I was a guest from the States too, all right, I just got the shot, but am I gonna jump right into fire as soon as I get like a vaccine on? I don't think so. I think I'd be a little bit hesitant too. And if they came over, I don't think people are gonna be on the dance floor like shirts off, like dancing like
No.
atmosphere. So it's going to be very muted, but at the very least they could come, right? So, but with all these variables in the air, I just thought if we wait longer and longer, this starts pushing back our timeline for our lives too. Like if we have our marriage like 2 years from now, that's going to push back even potentially having kids like even later and later and later, and all these things.
Yeah, I think we just wanted to like, because it's been hanging on uncertain for a long time.
Yeah.
So we just wanted to like, set a date and then just get it done. Came to a point, you know?
So, yeah, we're going to just do it Korean style.
Yeah.
I promised myself when I first came to Korea that I would never do it Korean style.
Yeah.
But I didn't know a pandemic would strike.
Yeah, we're really sad because most of our friends are abroad, but
well, the way that I think about it, all my close friends that I grew up with that I would love to come celebrate with me, none of them
can come.
So it's a little bit, well, it's more than disappointing. Yeah, best man that I had already asked, friends who had agreed to help out with some fun stuff and activities and all this, that's all gone.
Yeah, it's gonna be a very short, formal Korean wedding style with just very close families and relatives.
Yeah, well, we still have some friends in Korea too, so much more muted party. But at the end of the day, like I think it's about us, and as long as we make it memorable.
Yeah, we will take very good photo shoots with hanbok.
Yeah. So I think we're trying to find I'm sure knowing Katie and my personality, we're going to get it more excited about it and just have a great intimate wedding. And what we also said was we're going to have a second wedding party. We're going to invite all of our friends. So if you're some friends that are listening to this, I know I haven't communicated yet, but we're going to have like a second wedding. Probably not in Korea though. Like if we're going to pick a destination or if we're going to go on a honeymoon, I'd rather For example,
invite them to our
invite
honeymoon.
them to the first leg of our honeymoon in a different country
Yeah,
where we could bring your wedding dress and
that'll
then
be fun.
yeah, and then we could just party it up because by then there'd be no worry about Corona. And we have no pressure on like when is this thing gonna be over? Because we're already wedded. We just haven't had the breakdance party that we wanted. Just the bugaloo, the get down, you know? So where are we thinking though?
We have a couple in mind. Hawaii sounds
Oh
amazing.
my gosh.
Or like, some island on Greece. Or like,
You said the UK?
yeah.
UK seems pretty interesting too.
Yeah.
Let's see.
Like London.
But then it starts getting kind of tricky. Like, how much of do we do the ceremony again? And like,
It'll be a quick ceremony and then like
just have fun.
after party.
Yeah, that sounds good to me. Yeah, and even my sister won't even be able to come to the wedding in Korea because she has the kid and the baby, and she can't quarantine with it. So
it'll be just your parents coming from America.
Yeah. But you know what? That's life. Life throws at you a lot of
2020.
Yeah, that's 2020. That's 2020. You know what my mom said? She was like, "This is so strange because when I was having you, Dad had the Temong, which was the double dragon. You're supposed to be a lucky guy, but you chose to get married in 2020. Why you didn't think of that?" I was like, "Mom, do you hear yourself?" And she started laughing.
Oh my God.
She's like, "You should have proposed earlier." I was like, "Mom, that's the most Korean thing you can see. Why I didn't see a centuries record-breaking pandemic in foresight." And I was like, "If that was the case, Mom, I would have bought this stock all before." She's like, "Yes, that's what I'm saying." I was like, "Mom,
Very typical Korean mom.
that's right." So, yeah, let's look forward to it, Katie. I think we're going to have a very awesome, intimate wedding. We have to go through the details of that. And then we'll have our part 2 a few years later.
Yeah.
I think it'd be fun. I think it'd be like the best of both worlds. So.
And then there is a new Netflix show that we are watching together. And it's all about chess.
Yeah, Queen's Gambit.
Yeah, we just clicked on it randomly, and then we were so absorbed from the first episode, remember? And then we both don't know how to play chess, but that drama got us to buy a chessboard, and we're playing it at night.
Yeah, yeah.
We're teaching ourselves how to play chess.
All right, Katie, pop quiz. The tower, how does that move?
Tower?
Yeah.
You mean the rook?
The Luke.
Rook.
How does
Rook
that go?
goes horizontally. A rook goes cross. Can only go crossway.
No, the
Rook.
tower.
Rook.
Luke.
Rook.
That goes up
Rook
and
the
down.
castle.
Yeah.
Yeah, goes like cross in a cross. Goes up and then left and right.
Okay. Like in the shape of a cross, vertically and horizontally.
Yeah.
Okay. How about the bishop?
Bishop is diagonal.
And then the horsey
I
one.
should test you because
Yeah.
I've already studied more than you.
Okay, pop quiz me.
So what is castling?
That's too advanced. Go next one. I'm just learning what the little pieces do.
What is how does the pawn move?
Pawn at the beginning, you move it by 2, and then after you move it by 2, you can only move it by 1.
Good job.
And if you reach to the end of the board, well, I can't verify its truth because you told me, maybe you made this rule up, but you can change it to any piece that you like. So I could change it to a queen.
Yeah, as long as it's not a king.
Right.
Yeah, it was written in that book that I bought.
How about the horsey?
Horses can go in L shape.
That's right.
So 2 first,
Yeah.
and then 1 in a different direction.
Right. So based on this discussion, guys, you can already tell that we're far from a grandmaster level. We're just understanding the pieces.
The thing is, there seems to be a lot more rules, but when we play with each other, none of us can verify whether it's like right or wrong. So I feel like we're going nowhere. That's why I want to play with the computer.
Yeah, and Katie's so rude when she plays. Like, I'm like thinking, all right, I got to do 2 plus 1, counting the squares, and she goes, do, 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 hurry, do, 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 hurry. And you always say that between things, so like that really gets to me because I don't know, like I barely know.
That's how you learn, Daniel.
Yeah, it's too much pressure though. So we already played like a few games. I think the first night Katie did win. It was so close. In the movie Queen's Gambit, I just loved those scenes when they put out their hands as soon as they win the game with their asking for a little handshake, like checkmate. And they give out their little hand, and like I was dying to do that to Katie after I checkmate her, but she saw it coming, and then she swapped something out, and then she completely wrecked the entire chess table. She took out like 8 things, and it was game over. And I was like, dude, I gotta do a lot more interesting studying about how to do this.
Yeah.
But Katie, you know what?
It's really fun.
Though, I'm very happy though that as a partner, I can play chess with you. You're the type of person who would enjoy playing chess.
Are you sure we are playing proper chess?
Well, whatever we're playing, I like that you find joy in that. Because like I enjoy playing. I don't know. I've never really played that much board games, but I do like playing as I get older, some of these mental activities.
Yeah. And I felt like I've always wanted to know how to play one of these things, be it like chess or paduk. Or Go, but somehow I never really got to learn it. But like now it's a good chance to properly learn it. So it can be our like lifetime game.
Yeah, that'd be interesting.
Yeah,
we're gonna get all serious.
Yeah, that'll be so fun.
We'll get all serious. And what's that other game you always kick my butt in? The one we play on the plane. Omok?
Omok is so much simpler than
Is it
chess.
you have to line 4 colors in a row?
Five in a row, and then you win.
I think we're on the plane towards Paris.
Yeah.
And you kept beating me and it drove me crazy. I couldn't surround your little black circles. You would always find a way out.
I grew up playing that game, so I know it so well.
See, the way that I played it, or Paduk, that's the one with the
black and white?
Black and white, right?
Yeah.
Me and my friends, we had usually just ended up trying to surround each other. Just learned the basic and we got sick of it, and then we just start like flicking at each other, and then that was the end. We would just try to toss at each other. At the end of the room would be covered with that, and then
Actually, I had those paduk boards at home too, growing up, but I never saw my parents play it, so I don't know why we had that board. And then me and my brother, we didn't know how to play it.
So did you do the same thing where you just toss it at each other?
And then that's it.
Yeah, and like
half, like that was not a good use.
And half of the paduk pieces, they're like chipped off, right?
Because like
you
not clean.
Tossed it. It was the same.
You know, like the Korean moms send their kids to those paduk academies.
Really?
Yeah.
What's paduk in English? Just for our listeners.
Isn't it Go? Can you look it up?
My phone just died.
Great.
All right. Well, it's Go or.
I think it's Go. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then because it's great for the kids' concentration. Because, you have to sit in one same position for very long hours.
Yeah.
So that's what the parents do it for early education.
You know what I really want to learn? Because I see like Korean old guys on the train playing an app version of it. The one where you like, you 치는 거 있잖아. 카드, like you throw it and you hit it.
화토?
Oh, 화토. Why you give me that face? It's too low level? What? I want to learn how to play it. It's like Korean. Is it like poker?
Yeah, it's like a Korean poker. But I feel like there's a lot of negative connotation around
Yeah, every time
game.
you see in the movies, it's like some guy's drunk, like smoking cigarettes, and then you got like gambling and but the sound of it is so fun. Like you smack it, you hit it real hard.
Yeah,
I remember playing it once.
Quite complicated.
At my grandma's place with my cousins or things, but none of us were really good at it until my uncle's like, 그거 치면 안 돼, you gotta hit. And they were like, all right, we're out of here. Let's go somewhere else.
Interesting.
Yeah. Maybe there's a lot of things we need to learn.
Yeah. Who else is watching Queen's Gambit and also learning to chess?
You know what I really liked about Queen's Gambit is that girl just has this mystique towards her. Like
yeah, I really
she
like
looks
that
so
female character.
yeah, she looks so mystical, but
So focused.
so focused. And I just was like, man, the casting director did a phenomenal job of getting this girl as the main character because she's a redhead, and like I don't know, there's just something about her. It's not like I wouldn't describe her as pretty, well, at least from my eyes. Well, not because she's redheaded. Okay, that's not what I'm saying. I'm like, okay, this might sound weird because, like, you know,
She's
you're
not
listening
red
towards.
hair.
Yeah, she is.
Is she?
I think so.
No, she's like brown.
She's a brunette.
Yeah, brunette.
Oh,
Where did you get that from?
oh, okay. Maybe I'm okay. Yeah, but anyway, when she's a child, and then when she grows up, obviously those are two different actors or
Yeah.
actresses, right? But in my mind, I was going, is that's amazing how the casting director is able to find like kids that look so much similar to their grown-up version and finding two people that resemble each other like that.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
And I was thinking, how do you do that?
I think they find it too, but also it's in their character too.
What are you
I think
talking about?
they act so well that they look similar to each other. Like they're so
Ah.
focused in their acting. It's like their power of their acting too.
yeah, it's phenomenal. And second other thing observation that I had was the clothing that they put on her
Oh, yeah.
is amazing. Her
Like,
outfits,
suits her character so
yeah,
well.
like her outfits, and she sits down to play chess. I would feel so intimidated. Like, oh my god! Like, you know how you go tick tock, tick tock, tick tock. Just with their eyes, I would feel like that anxiety coming.
But she has huge eyes too.
I know I'd get lost in that, like so like scared, and then like I'd be so scared of her little hand being like checkmate. Oh man, I want to checkmate somebody. I never had that feeling. I think it's gonna be a while. Don't know how these little pieces move.
We should start packing our chessboard and visiting our friends' houses and playing chess.
We're gonna be labeled the weirdest kids in Seoul. But remember, a long time ago we talked about algorithm, Facebook algorithm.
Yeah.
I searched chess in Google, and then for the first time in my Facebook feed, videos related towards chess started to come up.
Oh,
And then that's how
they're
I.
spying on you.
And then I learned about a guy named Magnus Carlsen
Oh my gosh.
because his videos kept coming up.
Is he like a grandmaster?
He's apparently like the number one guy. It seems like it is because I saw another video who's showing currently, I don't know if it's current, but in the last 10 years, the number one person. And they showed a video of him when he was 13 years old, right? And you know, there was that scene in Queen's Gambit where she stands up and she just goes, like while the other guy is like thinking about the next move, she just goes and takes a little walk
Yeah.
and then comes back.
Yeah.
Magnus was doing the same thing.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, all of these like tidbits from the drama are like based, I don't know if it's based off him, but he certainly was doing that as well, right?
Oh my gosh. That's so funny.
I know.
So that's like indeed possible.
Yeah,
it's
he's
not
13.
a drama.
Yeah, you're just so good that you know.
That's too scary. Was he American or Russian?
No. Magnus, that sounds like a Swedish name or Nordic
Ooh,
name.
Wow.
Yeah, remember I worked with someone named Magnus.
We gotta keep working at it.
Yeah. Oh, and Katie, don't you remember how excited you were a few days ago?
For what?
Because you met somebody?
Oh my god! Oh my gosh. Guys, I have a revelation to make.
Tell them.
You know, I met my favorite K-pop idol from my childhood.
Daniel? Daniel from Future Neighbor?
No, the other day I saw G-Dragon from Big Bang in the middle of a street.
Yeah, I can't
In the
believe
middle of a street. This was like the most unexpected, but like, I don't know, just such a like unreal event.
Kitty called me and she's like, Oppa, I have some news. I was like, oh my gosh, maybe something really good happened. Maybe she won the lottery, or like, you know, my mind is running, did you get promoted or something? And then you're like, I saw G-Dragon. And I was like, oh.
Do you even know who G-Dragon is?
Well, you show me his picture, so now I know him. But
Oh my gosh. I just feel like the luckiest girl in the world at the
so
time.
run through how you.
Oh, so like I was just having lunch with my friend in like Itaewon area.
Yeah.
And then we just got a coffee and then we wanted to walk around. So we were just like looking around and walking. And then just right in front of us, we see this guy passing with on a bicycle.
It was in Itaewon or
It was, to be exactly, it was Hannam-dong, which is like the next station away from Itaewon.
But that's where like the really rich apartments are.
Yeah, Hannam-dong is a more like much less crowded than Itaewon. There's a lot of new cafes and shops opening, so it has much more chill vibe, which is why like more people like to go.
But it also has the most expensive apartments in Korea, or some of them there, right?
Yeah. And then the place that we went for lunch was actually newly built, like a building with a lot of restaurants inside. And right behind it is like a very luxurious like villa.
Do you remember the building?
Yeah, it was like Ninth Villa or something. I didn't even know about that villa until like that moment, to be honest.
Yeah.
And then we saw this bicycle, and then I looked at the person, and then immediately me and my friend were like, "Is that G-Dragon?" It was such a short moment, but we saw that face, so we were so convinced. And then we looked back, but he was on a bicycle, so he was already passing by. But then I heard the quick sound. He was about to bump into another cyclist. So we were thinking he must have realized that we recognized him. So he was kind of being conscious of it. So he didn't really see what's ahead. He almost like hit this other cyclist. And then he went away.
How do you know it was G-Dragon? Maybe
because
it was
of
some
the
guy.
outfit, and I saw his eyes, because G-Dragon is like my top favorite Korean K-pop idol growing up. So I've seen like millions of his videos. So I know his face very, very well.
Okay.
And also it was just not a regular person's outfit. It was like a celebrity outfit. He had like really like abnormal, it was a very cool hat. And then like even the bicycle wasn't normal. That bicycle wheel was so super thick. And then like his shoes, the trainers, like his overall outfit. And also
so he looked very stylish.
Yeah. And also what confirmed all this was the fact that he lives in that villa right behind.
How do you know that?
Where we saw him. That's what my friend said.
Oh, he
lives in that villa.
He's like purported to live there.
Yeah. And then where we are standing was right outside that villa.
My gosh. So you saw one of Korea's A-list riding a bicycle.
I know.
You should have totally like knocked him over.
You know, like when you are just so stunned, like I found myself to be like very helpless and I can't really do anything. I just feel so stunned and surprised, and so for a while we had to like sit and then like just reflect on what just happened. I couldn't my heart was beating, and then we just kept talking about the same thing over and over again.
Guys,
with my friend.
I'm shaking my head right now.
Because
how
am I gonna see G-Dragon? I didn't even go to his concert because his concert is like the most like demanded concerts. So I can't even think of going and getting a ticket there.
What's the reaction you get when you see my eyes?
Oh, very beautiful.
Thank you for that answer. Please continue.
Yeah, but I was very happy about that day.
That's cool.
Yeah, because it's not like an everyday thing that you see G-Dragon in the middle of a street. Oh my gosh. I gotta go there more often. I told myself. Next time I'm thinking new.
Yeah.
Who knows? We might see a BTS member.
You know, I'll tell you, if we see him again, this is what I'm going to do. I have the strategy in mind for you. I'm going to throw my wallet next to him, Like let's say he was riding that bicycle.
But it was such a like quick moment.
I know.
You can't even react.
I know, but that's why we're making a strategy. So next time it comes to us real quick. What we're gonna do is he's gonna be riding that stupid bicycle again, and then right when he hits like an intersection where he has to wait, I'm gonna throw my wallet right next to him, and then I'm gonna be like, "저기요, you dropped your wallet," and then he's gonna be like, "Oh, 저 아니에요, that's not mine," and I'm gonna be like, "Oh, you're G-Dragon."
No.
That way you can have one interaction, like a mini interaction.
Oh no, I'm too shy to do that.
And then if he like doesn't say a word and he just nods no, but I think this is yours. And then you're just, trying to confirm whether. That's our strategy, Katie.
Oh, no, I don't want to look desperate, Daniel. I'm just happy with whatever flow of the day, and let it be.
So nice. So nice. This is the difference in our personalities. You're the defender. I'm the commander.
Like he must not really enjoy being discovered even on his off days too.
Yeah,
so I'm gonna let him be.
Yeah, I'm just kidding. Yeah, of course. I don't know. I just don't have that much interest in celebrities. So, seriously.
Okay, let's see the next time we go, and if we bump into Jimin or something like that.
Who's Jimin?
He's a BTS member.
Is that the one that can speak English well?
Oh, that one is RM.
Oh, I see. Though I did see a Korean celebrity once. He was like the pretty boy face for Hyundai Baekjam. Like every time it's like Christmas time.
Is it Kim Suyeon?
Yeah. He's the guy, right?
Where did you see him? Outside 국민은행?
In
Lotte Baekjam?
Yeah, outside of Lotte Baekjam.
You
Not Hyundai,
were
sorry.
waiting for me?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, I think you told me later. Yeah, he was a model for Lotte department store, and I remember like one time he was out in the like main gate.
Yeah.
And a lot of people gathered around him.
I was coming out of the subway, and I just remember like a crowd of Japanese women were just like "Hontoda!" Like they were just going crazy, and I was just like, "Oh my god, what's going on?" And then went with the crowd just to see. And then, it was him. But I didn't know who that was. But when I looked at his face...
You thought that was different.
I instantly realized.
Must be a celebrity.
I instantly realized.
His face, what struck
I instantly realized. That's not a normal face. That belongs on TV. That is a precious face.
Precious face?
Yeah, that's...
Wow.
No, that's a good look.
You admit it.
No, for me, when I see really good looking guys... I give them the comment, you were blessed. That's a good looking face. That's a really good looking face. You belong on TV. Oh my gosh. Didn't in our last episode, we rated ourselves?
Yeah.
Oh, and we didn't put it up.
Oh yeah, that was hilarious.
You know what?
You rated yourself like...
Oh, no. You know what? I'll add it to this.
Okay.
I'm going to add it.
I wanted to ask you, how would you rate your look?
Oh my gosh.
Because we were talking about like rating our looks. And then like...
We fell asleep. This was like right before we fell asleep. We asked each other the question. We started laughing. And
that time we were like, how would we rate each other? Right?
Oh, yeah. Can we say the scores? This is hilarious.
I'm just I think our listeners are going to think how like...
No, it was just a fun exercise. It's not a question that devolves in our head or revolves in our head.
Yeah.
So I asked you, how would you rate your look? Should we start off with
or each
You want to start off with mine or yours? I spoke a lot. My voice is getting hoarse.
So how would I rate my look or your look?
Interesting. Where should we go with this? I don't want to cry too early in a podcast.
Why?
No. Let's rate ourselves because this could be more interesting.
Really?
How you see yourself, because everyone knows, our listeners who even watch our YouTube, they know, they probably have an internal score of how we look like. So how
score?
Yeah, or not a score, but just in general.
Yeah.
But how we view ourselves would be probably more interesting.
Okay, but so I don't want to sound so like self-obsessed. with my look.
So we said we would give it a scale of 1 through 10.
Yeah.
10 being like
10 being, what is the 10? I need some benchmark.
I said 10. You're being featured in Netflix. Like
It's
you're a movie.
Scarlett Johansson.
No, I don't want to put someone's face to it. Just a score of 10 means you belong in movies.
Like actress.
Yeah, like an actress. Like it's easy that you would be casted, right?
What about 5?
5 is someone you'll just see walking in the street. The average. Like if we walked out into the subway station tomorrow morning at 9 and we saw someone near our age, just a very average, normal looking person in the street.
Oh, but I think 5 in Korea amongst young women is quite high.
That's true.
Yeah, but 0 is like
no.
Let's not talk about 0.
No, let's 1 through 10. Yeah, 1 is just like, oh God.
You need to watch out what you say,
yeah,
Daniel.
1 is 1. We'll
Okay.
say that 1 is 1.
Okay. Let's see. I know.
And you have to give an explanation.
That's
it can't just be a
difficult.
number. Yeah.
No, that's difficult. No, because when I go, okay, I'm gonna give myself 6.5. Because I think actually the average in Korea amongst young women is very high. Even last weekend when we were just having lunch,
Yeah.
I remember like seeing these 2 young girls sitting next to us, and they were really pretty. And I remember I told you to look at their faces. You remember that, right?
We're eating and Kitty's like, look to the left of us. That girl's so pretty.
Yeah.
And then guys, you know what would happen if I actually looked around and I was like, yeah, guys, that dinner would be over. She'd be running home crying. So you know what I do? I've dated long enough, y'all.
Also, you lied to me.
So I didn't even turn around. I didn't even look at her, and I was just like, nah, she's not that pretty. I don't even know what she looks like.
You don't?
There's no need to look.
You didn't see her?
No, I didn't. I've been
She
trained.
had a
I've been home
very-
trained.
Oh, home trained. Well, this girl had a really natural, like, very simple look, which I really like, with not too much makeup, but just looks very natural and pretty. So, like, I have a lot of those cases, like walking around in Seoul. So I can't really give myself anything more than like 7 or 8, I feel like.
Okay.
So I feel like I'm somewhere on average. Like, so that's why I gave myself 6.5.
So interesting. So 5 means average, and a score of 6 means you think you're a little bit better than average. Where does the 0.5 come from? The 6.5.
No, I was thinking between
a
6.
teeny bit better than a teeny bit more than better than average, right?
Oh my gosh,
Come on.
I don't know. It sounds so obsessive.
No, it doesn't.
Really?
Yeah, we're just
Okay.
having fun with it.
Yeah. Yeah, I think so.
So you score yourself a 6.5 out of appearance, and then how about the whole package? Meaning
package?
personality, energy, just everything.
I think
As a
then I
person.
can rank higher
Okay.
with so much confidence.
Do you have a score?
Maybe 7.5.
I give you a 9, girl.
Oh!
You had a 9.
Why not 10?
Because 10 is there's no such thing as perfect. 10, 10, and there's no such thing as a 1. The 1 and 10 is just to weed out the people who are just messing around.
Yeah.
So yeah.
I think so, because I'm quite a positive character. So,
I feel like, yeah, all right, that's good.
what about you? Now it's your turn. Let me pass the ball to you, the awkward ball.
Well, I feel like okay. I would put myself, I'm going to put myself at a 6.7.
Oh, why? Also, you put yourself a little bit higher than me.
Well, let me give my explanation. So 5, I think Korean guys, the normal Korean guys you see, it's alright. It's not like, okay, on average, the Korean women, at least in the Seoul metropolitan area, well, actually, as a country as a whole,
Yeah.
I think are much better looking than the average of Korean men. I think so.
I think so, yeah.
Objectively.
I
So
think
the bar is
also because we can dress up and like cover up our imperfections on our
So the bar
faces.
is much lower for me, the average. So that's
Okay.
why. So you said okay as if you agreed so much. And then yeah, like the similar like a 6.
So do you have those experiences too, like I did?
6.
Like when you go around, walk around, you see some guy, you think, oh, he's really good looking. And then you like try to stare at that person. You have those experience?
Not so much. I don't like guys don't really look at guys that much. Sometimes I see guys that are like really tall and I go like, damn, what's he been eating? That fool is tall as hell. Maybe he's a baseball player, but once in a while there's like people that are above like 6'3", and you don't see that too much in Asia. So that catches my eye. But once in a while, I don't really see that kind of like faces that we see in K-drama or like Korean drama,
me
like
too.
walking
I
around.
actually haven't seen a
Girls,
guy
we
like
do.
that.
Girls, if you walk around certain areas, they just look like really like drop dead gorgeous looking girls a lot. But like guys, you don't see like, you should see Katie's face when I said that last statement. She gave me the fist. This is why I don't turn around in the restaurant.
Because you never said to me before this audio.
Baby, you're drop dead gorgeous. I gave you a
Oh my
9 out of 10.
Daniel, please don't say that.
Okay. See, yeah, 6.7. 0.7.
Okay, so what about your entire package? I think you gotta give yourself a little bit higher. Because you have...
I would push myself up to a 7.
I think you can push yourself to 8 with your sense of humor.
Yeah, I've been told growing up that it's definitely not the face.
That's how you gained your confidence.
No, it's because ever since I was young, like everyone around me always like told me that I was just like always just has like a sense of confidence, like growing up at every age, like literally. Like, no, it's just Daniel's always been a very confident person. He like loves who he is. And so that kind of like confidence is very attractive. Oh my God, why do you have to grab your belly and laugh like that? So naturally when people are attracted to me, like other people will comment, yo, it's definitely not the face. And I've heard that so many times, I have enough data points to know that it's definitely not the face.
Yes, I wish you showed more of your like comical side on our first date. Then I would have like messaged you earlier. You were so serious on our first date. That's why.
Probably because I was nervous.
Maybe.
Yeah. Yeah. So, but our scale is from 1 through 10. We put ourselves at 9 and 8. I think we're kind of living in the clouds too.
I know.
So
that's what I wanted to say.
So what we got to do to give us a more neutral is we got to subtract -1 and -2. So maybe we fit like at a 6 and 7 maybe.
Yeah, -1. Then I'm more like 5.5. So I'm average.
Yeah, pretty average too.
Yeah, we are average.
Yeah, nothing wrong with average.
Yeah,
it's just fun. It's interesting.
Yeah.
Actually, when I was
we should do this when we have like our friends come over next time
and tell them
over
to
a
rate
drink.
Oh my gosh, my friends would rip me apart. I wouldn't get past a 5 ever. When I was doing the homestay in Japan, the homestay, the mother was like, Daniel, I don't know why the people in the neighborhood are like, because every time I go to the izakaya, all the patrons would come out and hang out till late. You're like, it's definitely not the face.
Why they're attracted to you?
Yeah, and like, it's definitely not the face.
Definitely not.
I remember what she said, Kao janayo. Kao means face. Janai. I mean, I'm butchering Japanese right now, but yeah. Anyway, so I know I have a few data points. But you have
a good smile.
Look at us trying to protect each other's egos. It's okay, Katie. I'm old enough.
You have a great smile, Daniel.
I feel like we're having like a little healing session.
I think so.
Yeah. All right, and then we're back, guys. Do you guys agree with our assessment?
Yeah, this was like the most ridiculous. We just put it up for you guys to have a good laugh.
No, actually, we're pondering this every night and day. All right, neighbors, we'll be back next week. I hope you enjoyed, and I don't put a rating for our face. If you think,
Well, you guys can put a rating on our face on our YouTube comment, but not on our podcast comment.
if you think we're out of 5 out of 10 in terms of our appearance, then you give our podcast a 5 out of 5 on iTunes for a review. Fair enough.
Right, thank you for listening, everybody.
Have a good one, and don't let politics ruin your day. Watch something else.
Like Queen's Gambit.
Checkmate.